Hello, and we welcome you to this special interview with Major Vineet Kumar. He is an entrepreneur and the founder of CyberPeace Foundation, founder of Global Ethical Hackers Association, CEO and chairman of the National Anti-Hacking Group. He is an alumnus of Cranfield University, UK, where he specialized in cyber defense and information assurance, and has studied leadership at Cambridge University in UK. We'll tell you something very interesting about him. He's a first generation entrepreneur and he still starts way back at the age of 14 when he came up with National Anti-Hacking Group. And later he got on to this whole journey of bringing in CyberPeace Foundation. Welcome to this interview, sir.
Thank you so much, and it's really a pleasure to be here.
So we would like to start with you on your journey right at the age of 14, how you came up with this National Anti-Hacking Group, what was it about, and how did you get this idea to start?
Right. So, in fact, my journey started at 8. In fact, 14 is when an organization was formed. But if you ask when did I actually start my journey, it was when I was 8 years old, and this was year 1997, when I was first into the world of internet and technology. And this happened by chance, in fact, and because my father was working with a PSU, a Government of India PSU called as HECL, Heavy Engineering Corporation Limited. And HECL was one of the first PSUs to receive internet. And those were the early days of internet, where there was no Google, no YouTube, no Instagram, nothing. So I come from that particular era. And this is where the journey started. And the only thing, in fact, that I used to do when I used to get connected, I used to be given a slot of 1 to 2 minutes because internet was very expensive then. One used to call from Ranchi, kind of a STD call to Calcutta, and over that particular STD line, one used to access internet. Those were the era of the dial-ups. So within the 1 to 2 minutes or maximum 3 minutes that I used to explore what kind of things are available on internet, and that's how I came across IRC channel. IRC was the medium then to kind of chat with each other and connect with each other, and then I bounced onto a hacking channel. So this hacking channel comprised of a lot of hackers, hackers again coming from different backgrounds, good, bad. There are different categories of hackers called as black hat hackers, white hat hackers, and then gray hat hackers. Black hat hackers are the ones who are known for wrongdoings. They are the ones who do illegal stuff. White hat hackers are the ones who do good stuff. And then you have the gray hat, who are actually a combination of a white hat and a black hat. So I came across a lot of hackers. But then the concept of ethical hacking or white hat hacking was not there. And that was something that I was surprised. So one of the hackers, actually, he hacked my computer. And this was just to showcase me, not to cause any harm, but just to showcase how things happen. And he also showed me a live hack of one of the major incidents of hacking a particular bank in America. So that made me quite a lot interested. And I requested him to share some resources. Please note that those were not the era of Google and all that, where I could Google and find stuff. So I requested this gentleman, and taking a request from 8-year-old, he kind of agreed to it, and he mentored me for some time. He shared resources with me. The name, actually, I still don't know his real name because it was all code names then when we used to talk and converse with each other. So those were the formative stages. Now I'll go fast forward to some years and moving on to the year 2003. 2003, when I got a major recognition of being one of the world's youngest Microsoft certified professional. And this is again the year when the cyber wars started happening between countries. So the cyber war started happening between India and Pakistan. There were attacks from both the sides. And there were a lot of issues in public infrastructures were suffering because of this. So I thought, why not the knowledge that I have gained in hacking? And I spent all these years hacking, researching and all that. And by this time, I had accumulated good knowledge on the subject. So I thought to better utilize all the knowledge and good stuff that we are doing for social good. And this is what
Mhm.
something I was already doing. We were working on CyberPeace initiative since 1998. And I thought
Mhm.
it's time to kind of form up an organization and get like-minded individuals together to counter the new age of crimes. And somewhat I could see things coming. That technology is going to grow fast, issues are going to happen, issues with individuals will happen, issues with organization, governments, everybody is going to be affected. So that was the entire vision of forming a group of anti-hackers or so-called ethical hackers called National Anti-Hacking Group. And we continued working on cyber peace initiatives for a peaceful
Mhm.
cyberspace. That was the main, you ask, the mission, vision of the organization was to work for cyber peace. Again, I moved little fast. We did a lot
Mhm.
of activities, used to voluntarily discover bugs in major websites, well-known website, MNC's website, and all that. And we used to tell them, guys, you have some issue in your network, please patch it. Otherwise, the bad guys are going to take over. And we
Yeah.
got a lot of recognitions for that. We got little threats for that because people also felt, how come these guys are penetrating into our network without our consent? But we had a positive motive. So then, in fact, we continued that particular journey. 2006, we were on the cover page of a leading tech magazine, Digit, and that was
Mhm.
the first major recognition that I got. I was
Yeah.
already being covered in the local newspaper channels and everyone, but this was a great coverage, being featured on the cover page, and it means a lot in the techies world. So that's where our journey started, I would say, scaling from there. And starting from India, in fact, we started getting invites from not just India, but globally. In fact, we started addressing to issues. We started going there to national, international conferences to share about different issues. A lot of recognition during that time. Then in 2007, I got recognized by Rediff.com as a young achiever, along with few achievers from India. 2008 is when UN recognized my effort. And again, let me tell you, those eras, cybersecurity used to be a caveman word. Nobody used to understand what cybersecurity is. It's not the era that is today. So we used to tell people, and people used to, I mean, we had a tough time to kind of convince them that this is important. Nobody used to take it seriously then. So, but then UN saw something unique happening, something different. And those were the days of, again, Millennium Development Goals. Right now, we talk about SDGs, but then it was the Millennium Development Goals, then MDGs, in which I was honored. I was selected, one of the 15 youth selected worldwide for contributing to the Millennium Development Goal, and I was honored at the UN General Assembly in New York. Then came again invitations where I was also picked up by the government of India. Again, I advised the National Security Advisor, Mr. M.K. Narayanan. I used to advise
Mhm.
intelligence agencies on cyber matters. So all this while I was in the school. So still, I mean, I used to be given some waivers to kind of come to Delhi to kind of advise them, in fact, in different things. And then I used to head back to Ranchi. Ranchi used to be my base then.
Yeah.
And then I got another, meanwhile, I've also established a startup because whatever activities we are doing was social. But to support that social cause, since there was no funding, no donation, no grants, we thought the only
Yeah.
way to survive is to deliver our services. Services in the form of a startup where these companies who
Mhm.
we used to voluntarily tell them that you have been hacked, they also used to reach out that you help us in patching and securing our networks. So we
Mhm.
started getting orders to the startup that I done. I was a founder of Security Brigade. The company is still
Mhm.
there, but I have exited from the company now. And Jharkhand Police also invited me. The then Chief Minister, Mr. Arjun Munda, he was very keen to
Mhm.
retain me in the state. So he started a
Yeah.
process of creating a state agency on cyber defense. And
Mhm.
that was a great opportunity. I also thought I can give back to the state by being there, by structuring the dedicated cyber defense research center. And again, let me tell you that we were much ahead of time because Jharkhand was the first state to set up a dedicated
Mhm.
cyber defense agency to counter cyber attacks and cyber threat. And this I'm talking about 2007, 2008. I was not having a formal degree. then. So I had to wait for some time to take over as the founder CTO. In fact, 2011 is when I took over. Before that, I was on an advisory capacity. I completed my bachelor's in IT infrastructure from SM Sikkim Manipal University, Gangtok, and then thereafter I took over as the founder, CTO of the State Cyber Defense Research Center. 2010, I got a major achievement again, where I was selected as top five of the World Student Entrepreneur Competition, called as the Global Student Entrepreneur Competition, GSEA in America. It's a very famous competition. I was first selected as the Indian champion, competed in various Indian rounds. So I was the Indian champion. Then all the country champions meet at America. It's done by entrepreneurs organization in America. And in that, in fact, from top 30, I came to top five to top three. So that is a very rare recognition. My record still is unbroken despite the entire startup boom here. So something that I really feel privileged and honored that I was in the top five of GSEA, which gets conducted by EO America, Google, Sprint, Mercedes-Benz. They are the organizers for that competition. Then I took over Jharkhand Police. I headed technology modernization of the state police, heading the Cyber Defense Research Center, heading the cyber cell of the state. And in fact, something that I really feel good sharing is we became a model state then. Again, imagine a decade back is when all it started, more than a decade back. And many states, like some of the most advanced states, even Kerala, Maharashtra, they used to reach out to us for advisories. They knew that Jharkhand has something there. So we used to get cases from Maharashtra. People used to reach out for our advisories and assistance. So I headed this one till 2014. February. I had to put up my papers because I felt I was stuck within the state boundaries and I could do a lot more. So, and I also got an opportunity for Chevening scholarship this time. For viewers, let me also tell Chevening, in fact, gives an opportunity. So, if you want to pursue a career or if you are contributing into the cybersecurity space, you are in mid career and looking forward to become a scholar, learn more what UK is doing in cybersecurity, they can apply for the Chevening Cyber Scholarship Program. So, this is what I applied. My name was nominated by the government. So I was part of the 6 people selected in India to be a part of the founding batch of the Chevening Cyber Scholarship Program. Then TCS was the sponsor for this one. So I was selected after various rounds in India, went to UK, went to Joint Services and Staff College, finished my, in fact, PG cert program in cyber defense and information assurance from Cranfield University, and then came back to India. This year again also gave me an opportunity to be a part of the Territorial Army. So I got commissioned into the Territorial Army after clearing my SSBs, interview, medical board, written examination and everything. In fact, my SSB was deferred because I was in UK, but fortunately I made it back and then I cleared the SSB and I got commissioned with the Territorial Army. Initially part of the 111 Kumaon Regiment, and then later on I was shifted to Sikh regiment, of which the unit 124 Sikh, of which I'm part of it today also, which is at India Gate. So that's how the journey had been. I got selected for Chevening. Then thereafter, I was given the National Youth Honor. It's the highest youth honor given by the government of India. Closest, it's almost similar to Padma Award. I got that in 2016. Then thereafter, I was selected for the IVLP scholarship by the IVLP International Visitor Leadership Program that the US government gives. They identify leaders in different countries and they select those leaders and invite them to America. So I was selected as a leader in cyber, and 2017 is when I went to IVLP program. Post that, I was also selected for British Council Future Leaders Program. Again, one of the 15 future leaders. British Council selects those future leaders from across the world. And then they are also called for a program in UK. Again, I had a chance to study at the Cambridge University, their leadership program. and was part of the parliament. I had visited parliament. We were part of certain debates as future leaders. We're seen as future leaders who will kind of be in the leading positions in the country. So that's how the entire programs happen. And CyberPeace, I'll go a little back. So whatever work I was doing as CyberPeace initiatives, 2013 is when we felt that the organization that we had was National Anti-Hacking Group, and we're working on the CyberPeace initiative. So we thought that it's time that we should, cyberspace does not have boundaries, so we should not be limited to a particular boundary. So we renamed the organization. We were using the word CyberPeace initiative, so we renamed the organization to CyberPeace Foundation from National Anti-Hacking Group. This was when I was with the Jharkhand Police. So everything was running in parallel because I was a pro bono contributor to the non-profit cause. And after I quit Jharkhand Police in 2014, I took over full-time position with CyberPeace Foundation. And since then, the journey is on. Yeah.
Coming to Jharkhand Police, I just had one question to ask you. You also led the cybercrime cell, as you mentioned, and you were also, heading the state government's CDRs. So at that time, we know that cybercrime has also evolved a lot in last 1 decade. But at that time, in that era, what were the kind of cases of cybercrime or say the issues that you faced, while dealing with those cases or the cases got recorded with police? Could you tell us briefly about?
Well, major cases that we used to face was normal virus attacks, spyware attacks. DDoS was very common. In fact, and by late 2000s, in fact, we also saw some of the, like the Estonian attack that happened in 2007. That was a game changer, the attack on Estonia. Then we saw the Stuxnet attack. So things started evolving after that. So what we used to call earlier was cases related to website defacement, distributed denial of service attack, DOS attack, or a virus attack. It started going down, and new and advanced form of attack started coming up, and that was in the late 2000. So somewhere 2000, 2010 was the, I would say, the shift that we started looking at it. And then, in fact, various cases of cyber bullying, stalking, because Facebook had started, Google had started, all these platforms started. So 2012, 2013 is when we started getting complaints regarding bullying, stalking, and different kind of other financial frauds. Jamtara happened, then post that, then the era of financial fraud started. So yeah, so these are mostly the cases that we used to be reported to us.
Because what we know now, through say web series or some kind of such programs where we are learning about the Jamtara gangs. So I was told that Jamtara gangs actually were much functional a decade back, and how they they used to carry out these kind of financial fraud, like well-oiled network. So that's why I wanted to ask you about how the crimes took place then.
Yeah, so these were the crimes, because 2013 is when I think I had Jamtara, because I was there in Jharkhand only that time. So when we had got initial tip-offs about certain kind of organized groups and gangs who were kind of developing. So I would say in Jharkhand, in fact, 2013 is the year when we saw certain things like that which started happening. In fact, which started getting reported, these kind of scam calls and all that, which started coming up. 2015-16 onwards, it started getting recognized, and it became a hotbed also globally as a major cybercrime hotbed of the country. But those were the early days of Jamtara, is what I would say.
True. So coming to CyberPeace initiative, CyberPeace Foundation now, could you tell us what kind of work the organization is doing in India? If they are also assisting police, or they're even training them in some way, what are your?
Yes, so CyberPeace is like, we wanted to set up this organization wherein we work on different aspects, not just being limited to tech. So that's what I mean. The kind of change that we did was we introduced a wing which deals with cyber policy strategies and other stuff. This is mostly to do with policymakers. So, like for example, the current DPDP, the Digital Personal Data Protection Act that has come up. So CyberPeace again had given recommendations to the government, and happy to share that 70% of those recommendations have also been accepted in the current act that has come up. So we thought that we are doing things on the ground. We are a unique combination. And first, the word itself, I'd like to say why cyberpeace. And if you see, we write cyber and peace together. So it's amalgamation of cyber and peace. We are talking about peace in the cyberspace. So anything to do and anything and everything to do to achieve peace in the cyberspace is what cyberpeace takes up. The other thing is we are also a grassroots NGO and a policy think tank, a unique combination. We work with a lot of people on the ground. We work with students, we work with teachers, we work with caregivers, we work with senior citizens. So we are addressing issues of basically all genders, all income groups, all age groups, and all geography. So people come out to us. People in the tribal areas, we do awareness program. We conduct Nukkad Natak. They come up to us and say that I've lost, say, 5,000 rupee and all that. So one is we understand the issues and challenges on the ground. Secondly, whatever the issues that we get, we do a solid research. So we have a research arm where we research on how new age emerging technology is kind of impacting the humanity in a positive and negative way both. Then we work with different platforms. So Google, whether it is Google, Meta, Snap, whether it is UN agencies or the government or the academia. So we work in a multi-stakeholder fashion where we are working with all of them in some form, in some way or the other. So we reach out to them, we highlight that, guys, these are the issues that your platforms have. You need to address it. And based on our reports, say WhatsApp had implemented certain feature, certain other platforms have implemented certain features based on our recommendations, because we are connected with people on the ground. Then we share the similar recommendation with the policymakers, like in terms of law. Cyber law, what are the things that are required? When we talk about the internet governance space, what are the things that need to be considered? So we consider different dimensions, and then we reach out to the necessary and relevant stakeholders that these are the items that probably needs attention. So we bring a solid kind of input from the ground and work with different stakeholders. A research arm, like all the research reports are there on the website. So whether it is research with general people about what kind of issue they're facing, or maybe research related to critical infrastructures, how smart grids are attacked, or how maybe oil and gas sectors are being attacked. So we have series of research reports, starting with small to big, which is there on the website. In fact, the new website has just come up, so maybe in a week's time from now, all the old reports will also be uploaded. But that is the base. And if you Google about our researchers, you'll find series of researchers that have been done, which has also been quoted internationally, not just in India, but international universities like Columbia University, LSE. They have quoted our researchers that we have done here in India. The research being one, policy being other, outreach is one. Then we have also cyber diplomacy, because we work with countries. Cyber is a space which does not have boundaries. And we also feel, and that's the reason we're working with different countries to address the issues of the user. While the regular issue may take time, like if you are a victim of a fraud, and if the fraud happens from some other country, police will have to follow a channel. But by the time the police gets the data, it is late. So what we do is we informally, we reach out to countries, we reach out to our connects, and we make sure that the victim gets the relief and victims' issues get resolved as quick as possible.
Sure. So recently you also had this tie-up with the Missing Trust, and you both are working with coming forward to an issue of cyber stalking. And this
Yes.
whole cybercrime that we're trying to address with the PVR, and PVR is going to show these kind of small
Yes.
videos where people get
Right.
educated about the crime. So please tell us more.
Right. Yeah, so this is a SOS campaign, and this campaign actually is kind of initiated by CyberPeace, Missing Links, and PVR, where the idea is to reach out to everyone and create enough sensitization about the abuses that happen targeting the children, and mostly cyber related abuse. Like children today are on these platforms. One positive aspect of COVID had been that the entire work for online schooling and digital education has advanced. Children are using internet even more now. So, but then it also brings the challenges, and that's how the criminals are here. So, major issues that are there targeting the children are bullying, stalking. Then comes issue of child sexual abuse material, which is very serious. See, Sam,
Yes.
a lot of children are being abused, their videos are taken and their videos are sold. So we want to be a very strong voice. One is to tell people, guys, you're doing wrong. And secondly, to students and children, so that they can identify the first signs. If somebody is trying to reach them, asking certain photographs, pictures in some form, they can raise an alarm that something is wrong. They can raise an alarm, they can reach out to the counselor, they can reach out to the teacher, or they can reach out to our chat bot that is there. They can speak to the chat bot, and we are there to help them. So that is more focused on child sexual abuse and also trafficking. Now, through this space today, children are also being trafficked. Children and not just children, but women, vulnerable population, they are being trafficked in some form by using the internet and the technology that is there. I'll not name one technology, but these kind of criminals use wide technology from end-to-end encryption to maps to everything. So they have been using technology heavily today, and this is the major medium on which the trafficking is happening through the cyberspace. So we thought that we should have a small PSA, like we used to see tobacco ads. We generally see tobacco ads before the movie starts. We thought this is also an important issue that we should kind of start, and the PSA should run, and it should give a quick call to action to everyone. If somebody is a victim, they should gather that courage and trust to kind of speak up. So that's why this entire campaign has been conceived, and we are doing this across India. PVR would be kind of airing this PSA just before the movie, and it's an excellent way to create engagement. Also, we do in programs engaging the students, caregivers, teachers also before the launch. So we get a lot of insights also from what are the issues that the children and young people face today.
Right, sir. This is a key initiative that you have taken up, because cyber stalking and cybercrime against children is the most vulnerable section that we need to talk about. So with this, we would like to end our session with you and interview with you. And thank you so much for talking to us. And hope you achieve more milestones with CyberPeace Foundation.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And yes, collectively, what I feel is everybody has a role to play. Cyberspace is like a shared responsibility. It belongs to everyone. So if we really want to be safe, we all need to join hands together to fight the next generation of frauds and abuses that happen. And together, I'm very sure that we can make the cyberspace peaceful, safe, and resilient for everyone.
Right, sir. Very well put, sir. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you.
Thank you.